sweet silver song of a lark. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, though your dreams be tossed and blown. Walk on, with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll never walk alone. When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high and don't be afraid. Walk on.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of Kicking It Back with Matt. Tonight we got a first-time guest, Norman. He's got to be pretty happy and ecstatic. He's a big-time Chelsea fan, and Chelsea pulled out a big win in the London Derby today, didn't they?
Oh yeah, big time, big time.
Norm, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, man, let's kick it. So, we both watched the game.
Yep.
Give me your takeaways.
Well, honestly, I'm just super happy that Cole's got an assist. Jackson's back, so saw that right away. That like just how good they looked. Yeah, honestly, that's just my biggest. I mean, Caicedo had a goal that got taken away, but
That was a rip.
yes,
I mean, in the goal, he
So
didn't even
good.
see it until the last second.
Yeah, yeah.
Crazy.
Honestly, I was looking at it and I blinked and I was like, wait, I saw the net moving. I'm like, oh, it's like, yeah, it just happened so quick.
Yeah, and Endo's goal was great. Great build
Yes.
up.
Hmm.
Nice assist from Cole.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about Palmer, because I feel like we heard his name a ton the front half of the season,
Yeah.
and we haven't really. Has he cooled off? I mean, I know he's got 14 goals, but I feel like the majority of them came
Very,
a few months ago.
yeah.
Is it a
Yeah.
change in tactics?
Um, yes, partly. But I also think it's because, I mean, just having Jackson, he's the reference point up top, right? Like he's not a true striker because he was I forget what team he was at before. I think Valencia or Villarreal. But he was more like a left winger. So you see him as the number nine, our number nine, but he comes off the left a lot, which helps any kind of creativity coming off that side. And it moves. He's always moving defenders, always. And the moment he went down, I mean, there was I think was 3 or 4 games before he actually got injured that he dropped off to his productivity, which kind of coincided with Cole's productivity going down as well. Because there wasn't that guy in the center that just drew, the two center backs and stuff, just catching their attention, making runs off the ball. And even when Nkunku came on, he just seemed a little slow at times, like with their understanding and stuff with him and Cole. I mean, there's plenty of examples of that, honestly. If you probably get a good compilation of like a season's worth. So honestly, yeah, I think it's a combination of some of our guys going down.
Okay.
That,
Yeah,
that
the first half today, man, I felt like that was nonstop up and down the field,
yeah,
both ways, man. I don't know how they came out and played the second half, because I felt like they emptied the tank
yeah,
all the first half with these gut busting, lung bursting runs back and forth, up and down.
yeah.
And even though there wasn't a goal scored, it was still. I'm going to say that might have been like one of my top five, like first halves or second half, any half of a game I've watched this year,
Yeah.
because it was just nonstop. And I still don't know what Posto is doing over at Tottenham. Like the way he set up the team today, he was playing one holding midfielder and he was trapped on both sides by Chelsea midfielders. And then he just doesn't adjust. And
Yeah,
then the first sub that comes on, it's a like for like sub. Uh, I don't know. Like they had some flashes of brilliance in the second half,
yeah.
but I feel like your gaffer did more at halftime to impact the second half
The second, yeah,
to get the 3 points.
yeah,
Now look, with this win today, Chelsea back in Champions League for now.
yeah. For now,
First place. I also think though that the EPL is in line for that fifth spot
yeah, I believe they still are. Yeah,
because of how well they've done in all the other tournaments.
hmm, yeah, because Tottenham's still in Europa League, and I think Manchester United, I think, is still in too. If I'm not mistaken.
I believe they are. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I ask every guest this.
yeah.
One, who is your favorite Chelsea player of all time?
That's kind of an easy one for me. Is Drogba. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's when I started watching. It was they had just started. I mean, they were 2, 3 years in, to the whole Drogba experiment. So I just watched them, fell in love with it.
If you were gonna say Lampard, I was gonna kick you off the show. So what is it about Drogba? Is it the style of play that like that physical booming?
Yeah, yeah. It's that clutch gene too. It's like that final. You needed a goal. He's there, and that happened in a lot of finals that he played in and stuff. Semifinals, he was there.
He's
So
he's he's the definition of a true out and out striker. Like when
yeah,
when you need it,
hmm,
he got it.
yeah,
But I would say during that era, he was my favorite Chelsea guy because of the style that he played.
yeah.
My favorite player is Steven Gerrard.
Okay.
He's
Oh,
my
so that's
favorite.
why if I chose Lampard, I was gone.
I'll put it like this. I wish the two of them could have played at different times
Yeah,
because from a national team perspective, they just could never gel or drive. Uh, thank God Stevie didn't leave to go to Chelsea when they came a calling. I don't know how that would have worked out in that midfield.
yeah, yeah,
Neither one was going to give an inch. So
yeah,
it would have been fascinating to see. So
yeah.
when did you start following the Blue?
Um, Pretty sure it was around 2007. So I wasn't too familiar with anything Premier League related, just because like back then, I mean, I kind of grew up. We didn't really have cable TV or anything, and then that one year we did was like, what probably it was. Pretty sure it was a Chelsea West Ham game. I think it was like a 4-0 game or 4-1. It was like I remember seeing a lot of goals, and I was just like, man, this team is pretty interesting. With Sen and obviously Drogba, and then was a year later, Anelka came in. It's just great, yeah. So it was one of those few games that they had on TV out here because
Okay.
back then it wasn't the NBC package that we have now and everything, where we get every game.
And Chelsea was, I mean, they're still a big team now, but like
Yeah.
they were on a nice, really good run.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
think that was still part of the 86 game unbeaten home run back in 2007. I think that was still part of it. Yeah.
what's uh, what's going on with Stamford Bridge? Are they building a new park for you guys or no?
I know they want to. Um, so the only solution to do it in the current place is to dig down because of other regulations and stuff that they have for the neighboring apartments and hotels, and then the rail station that they have there too. There's like regulations of height, like height requirements that are already met by the current stadium, and that's going to take a crap ton of money, and you obviously have to relocate to one of the other stadiums, either Wembley or I believe it was like a rugby stadium in like Twickenham or something like that. And then the other place was um, like a quarter mile up the road or some Earl's Court that sits kind of empty. So there's I think they're still discussing to go there. Um, yeah,
Have you ever been?
nah, I want to make the trip one day.
Yeah, I've never been to Anfield, and
Okay.
it's on my bucket list.
Yeah,
I can't, and I really want to go for a Champions League night fixture.
yeah, yeah.
So I got to
Definitely.
tell you, like, um, I watched the playback this morning of Liverpool's game yesterday, and just in that game, just because it's the Liverpool derby, right? It's
Yep.
Everton Liverpool. The fans didn't stop from the first minute of the match to the last minute of the match, and it was just I don't know what made me catch it today, but I really focused and paid attention on that. I think more than I did the actual match. It was the intensity of the crowd. I mean, I saw it today. It's at Stamford Bridge. It's another one of those stadiums that's just got some special touch and atmosphere to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
So I think it was for our last game, which I believe was the Arsenal game. The fans and the club, like the supporters groups and stuff, they got together and they were trying something new, which apparently was a thing many years ago. So they have the one stand where all the supporters groups sing and chant, all the time, and they had a small group on the opposite end of the stadium to create a better atmosphere for the entire stadium when they're at home, because they felt like the past. I mean, before that Arsenal game, you'd hear them for the first 10 minutes, and then nothing. It was like quiet. It was just quiet. I mean, it seemed quiet, and obviously the team wasn't scoring, so that kind of plays a part into it.
that's always a problem.
Yeah.
When's the last time I know that they've won Champions League recently, and I know they've won it more recently than Liverpool, but
Yeah.
I don't remember.
21.
21.
Yeah.
And
2000.
who did they beat in the final?
Oh, that was Manchester City. Yeah. That was the Kai Havertz goal. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I know they won it in 13,
Uh,
either 12
12.
or 13.
Yeah, like 12. Yeah, 12, 13. I think it was 12, 13 season or 11, 12 season.
And I
Like
think it
that.
was Fernando Torres that had the game winner.
Yeah. Well, no, the Fernando Torres goal was against Barcelona to get into the final. That was where
Okay.
he rounded, I believe it was Peperena. I think that was his name. He rounded him and then scored, and that was Chelsea down a man against Barca, like last 9 minutes of the game, and that was to make it to the final.
So not
In
to put you on the spot, who did they beat in the final again?
Bayern,
Byron?
yeah,
Yeah,
By,
okay.
Bayern at home. Yeah,
And didn't they sack the gaffer like midway
halfway.
through? And then the guy that came on, and then didn't they fire Di Matteo, right?
Yep,
And
yep.
then didn't they fire him like halfway through
Through
next
the
year?
next season. Yeah,
So I want to talk about this as well. Is when you became a fan in '07, that's part of what was known as the Roman Abramovich era
yeah,
that ended in 22
yep. Wow.
when Russia attacked Ukraine
Yeah,
because he's a Russian oligarch. Um, so two things with that guy. I don't know if you're familiar, like with George Steinbrenner and the Yankees,
yeah, yeah. A little bit.
and okay, and how insane. Steinbrenner was with his managers
Yeah.
and hiring and firing. Well, Roman is the George Steinbrenner of football because you could look at that guy the wrong way and he'd fire you.
Yeah.
And I felt like a lot of, and I feel like even with this new ownership, they haven't really given guys chances. And especially where you guys are, where you have a roster of like 50 guys,
A 15-year-old.
like it's going to take time for it to work.
Yeah.
And I think, what's the guy's name? Maresca?
Yes, Maresca.
The
Yeah.
new manager, I think they're actually allowing him to do what he needs to do and what he wants to do, more importantly, to make this work. I didn't
Hmm.
think that they were going to be top four and challenging for Champion League's places this year. So, but yeah, I mean, I felt like every other month Roman had a new gaffer on the bench, and they still have had great success. So, like, I understand why he got removed. Did he have to sell the club, or was it literally just ripped away from him, and then they put it up for sale and bid, but he didn't get any of the money?
So I guess depends on who you ask. Honestly, I felt like they just ripped it away from him, just because he has connections to Russia. I mean, he's also got companies in the steel and all that stuff. So you know, there is some connection to the whole Russian army and all that other stuff. To the politics side of things. So,
Because he didn't
but
even go down without a fight. He just laid down.
he,
He didn't
yeah,
go down.
I mean, his only rules. I mean, one of his only rules was just if you want me to sell the club, then the money has to go to help the people that are suffering because of the war. And till
Okay.
this day, that money is still sitting there. So,
Because what I think they paid what 2 billion,
2.5, I believe it ended up maxing out at. Yeah, 2.5 billion.
and that money's just sitting somewhere right now.
Yeah, yeah, because they can't figure out like who it's gonna help and how they're gonna basically divvy up the money, you know, to the
Gotcha.
people. Yeah, because Roman said that he wanted to help Russians as well as Ukrainians. Because
Well, there's people dying on both sides of it, right?
that's basically his logic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I read an interesting thing when I was trying to do some research on Chelsea.
Yeah.
It's mind blowing to me with the number of clubs that are in London in English football that Chelsea is the only London based club that has won the Champions League. And and they're also the only English club that has won Champions League twice, the Super Club Championship twice, and I want to say it was the FA Cup twice.
No, FA Cup definitely not.
No,
That's
so
no, that's the that's
maybe
the Arsenal Cup
then,
because they
then, then maybe just the Premiership title.
yeah,
It might have been that
yeah,
because I know like Liverpool hasn't won two Champion Leagues since plus um, two Premier League titles because they've only won one title since it switched over to the Premier League.
right, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like
But either way, I think there is like six, isn't there, for Liverpool, like European
oh yeah,
Champions Cups? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
A lot of success.
yeah,
But I'm saying since it converted over to the Premier League,
yeah,
Man City doesn't have two Champion Leagues,
yeah,
so it's just it's weird because Chelsea kind of a lot of times is in the background,
yeah.
right? they used to have the big four. Now they've got the big six. I don't even think it's a big six because Tottenham is just,
They're 14th, I think, right now after today. So
yeah. And I got to tell you, man, like I'm rooting like hell for Nottingham Forest.
yeah, yeah,
They've got that Leicester City feel from 15 to them.
yeah.
When
Damn, you
Leicester,
say it like that. It's been that long. Oh
yeah,
my god.
10 years, right? And
Yeah.
they're going bye bye in a month.
Yep.
They're going
Yeah.
down, which might be good for them. So
Yeah.
I don't know. So what else can you tell me about Chelsea? Have you seen Chelsea when they've come here?
Yeah. I saw them. Was it last year? No, it's the year before when they played in Philly when they had the that summer series. The same thing that they're doing with Bournemouth and United this year. When it was I think it was Chelsea, Brighton, Newcastle, Aston Villa. I think it was them. Yeah, yeah. We went to see them in Philly. That was it was good. It was good.
I've seen Liverpool twice. I
Okay.
want to say it was like 2002 when they came here,
Yeah.
and they played Real in a friendly over the summer at the old Giants Stadium
Yeah.
when they still had Michael Owen
Yeah.
before he
Me.
left for Real. Yeah, that's how far back
Yeah.
we're going. And then I saw them when they came when Brandon Rodgers took over about
Yeah.
12 years ago. They came for about a month, and I went to Fenway Park in Boston and watched them play Roma.
Yeah.
And it was strange because I don't know if you know this, but LFC and Roma, they're both owned by the Fenway Sports Group.
Oh,
That's why the
know
game
that
that's why the game was played in Fenway.
in Fenway. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I knew LFC was owned by the Fenway Group, but yeah.
yeah, they also own the Pittsburgh Penguins. I think they've got a NASCAR team now, and I think they own a couple of other like smaller clubs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what else you got for me?
Everton. They own Everton yet?
Oh, no, they might want it. That stadium looks really, really nice.
Yeah.
It looks
Yeah.
really, really nice.
Honestly, for me, it kind of went under the radar. I didn't even know they were getting a new stadium. And then they were just like, "Oh yeah, we're closing it down." This and I'm like, what? I looked. It looks like a really nice stadium.
Yeah, yeah. These new state, like as much as like you love like the tradition of these things, it's crazy. Like, so I'm from Massachusetts.
Okay.
My son, he's 21. He drove up there yesterday and went to the Celtics Heat game last night at the New Garden. That building's 30 years old.
Yeah.
I've never been in it. I left Massachusetts 6 months before that thing opened. So
Oh.
my kid is going there before me, and he was
Yeah.
sending me videos and stuff. I mean, even that for being 30 years old, it's got a lot of cool stuff in it, man. Like they can refurbish these things like they did with Anfield, where they added that whole new stand. They just put the other new stand in down above the cop. There's a lot of things that you can do, but if you have that height restriction deal down in London,
Yeah.
I don't know. I
There's
don't
not
know what
much.
you're gonna do.
Yeah. So and there's another little detail there too that the pitch itself, the ground that the pitch is on, is not owned by the team. It's
What do you
owned
mean?
by like a separate entity. It's basically fans. So it's the Chelsea Pitch Owners Association or something like that. I forget exactly what it's called, but they yeah Chelsea doesn't actually own that land, so they in order to do anything there, they also have to get permission from them. But if they're willing to keep the team there, they're more than happy to like hey dig down however far you need to dig. They'll allow it.
How do they own the pitch?
I I have no idea. I forget I don't remember if they needed to raise money. It was something. It was something weird like that happened, and then they ended up. basically owning the pitch, and Chelsea didn't own the pitch anymore.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, yeah,
Crazy.
yeah.
So do you think Chelsea's going to hold on to a top four spot?
Um,
Eight games to go.
Honestly, if with just seeing Jackson the first couple minutes today, yeah, yeah, I think so. I
Well,
think
and I
so.
also read today, Hogland's out for the next 7 weeks,
Yeah.
which is basically the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
Yep.
that's huge for you guys too.
Yeah. Yeah. And the only, oh my God, it's not even the only thing because it's Newcastle and Forest that we got towards. I think it's the last 2 or 3 weeks. Forest is our last game of the season, but
Well, it
so
might be meaningless for them.
maybe, hopefully, hopefully we're not still there fighting with them for potentially third place too.
So
Because right now
Newcastle,
we're pretty good into fourth. I think we're 2 points above City at the moment.
you're one
Oh,
point
1 point.
above City.
Yeah,
You're 2 points ahead of Newcastle, but Newcastle has a game in hand.
yeah, and we still got to play them too. So yeah,
What was the result the first time around?
I my God, I can't remember. I'm gonna have to look it up. 'Cause I seriously,
All
honestly, I don't
good.
remember. Maybe 2-1. I don't remember. Yeah,
Outside of those two, you have anybody else in the top 10?
that I mean, I would like Bournemouth to continue their little run and go top 10. I know, like, well, they lost the other day to Ipswich, so honestly, I was kind of considering them somewhat of a, kind of like a little bit. It was going to give us a little bit of competition. So outside of that, no, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think anybody else really has a real shot anymore. Yeah,
Yeah, the only game I'm looking towards is the Arsenal game. And and the good thing is we might have the league wrapped up before we play them.
yeah. Hey, listen, if they got to do the little with the little tunnel thing, what what is it for the victors and stuff that they do a little tunnel when
Hmm.
they walk out. If they got to do that for you guys, be more than happy to tune into that game.
So I take it like you're a big Arsenal hater.
Not really a hater per se. I just don't really like them.
You can use hate on this show. It's okay. 'Cause
Normally, like, people hate watch games and stuff like that, right? Uh, I typically don't. There's very rare instances where I would do that. For the most part, it's just I just want to see a good game. You know, draw, win. Somebody scores 3 goals, the other four, whatever. It doesn't matter. I just want to see a good game. But yeah, ultimately, if it's Arsenal, I want them to lose.
like I don't like Man City,
Yeah.
but I hate Man U. Almost as much as I hate Everton. You know,
Jeez.
you can't like the team that's a half a mile across the park from you.
That's true. That's
I
true.
mean, now I think they're going to be like 3 miles apart from each other, but that's not going to make my hatred any less. Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know what I mean? So who?
And isn't the Liverpool stadium where their old stadium used to be too?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like
They're
Everton's.
separated by Goodison Park.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like you can be at either one of the stadiums and see the other stadium,
Wow.
literally a half a mile apart.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess for Everton, it's kind of good that they're getting this new place because of
Yeah.
everything that Fenway has done to Anfield to increase capacity, bring in all other things.
Yeah.
So it gets Everton the chance to get out from under that shadow that, quite frankly, they've always been under.
Yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
who's Chelsea playing this weekend?
Oof, oof, got me. Um, I believe it was Birmingham.
They're playing
Check.
Brentford.
Brentford. Yes, Brentford. I knew it was the B team. I was like, yeah.
Full disclosure, I printed out the schedule for this weekend
Oh, nice.
just to give us a kind of idea of like what's like. I'm nervous this weekend too because Liverpool's playing Fulham, and Fulham's got a good squad this year,
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
played us real tough the first leg, the first the first time we played them in the season
yeah.
at Craven Cottage. They played us real. That's a tough place to play.
Wasn't that like a 3-2 game or something?
Hmm.
Right?
We had
Yeah,
to come. We had to come back twice.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
We were
think I was watching that.
Yeah, we were
Yeah,
down. We were down 1-0 and 2-1,
yeah,
and then in a lot of ways, we got fortunate.
yeah,
Yeah. So,
yeah.
you want to talk a little bit about Champions League next week?
Sure. Yeah, why not? Why
What are
not?
you What are you looking forward to the most out of the quarterfinals? Which matchup?
Um, well, the Real Arsenal. Yeah. I mean, honestly, out of all of them, that's really the most intriguing one.
Well, it's got the most star power, right?
Yeah,
It's got the bigger. It's got the two biggest names of any of the matchups.
yeah,
I'm really interested in that one too. I'm nervous after the Gabriel injury for Arsenal. They ruled him out the rest of the season.
yeah,
They got Saka back. He scored a goal in his first game back. Um, I just don't think Arsenal. I just don't think they have enough to beat Real in a two-legged, quarter. I just,
yeah,
just don't. I'm I'm really interested to see if PSG continues playing at the level that they've been playing at since January. I'm kind of partial to it because of how badly they took apart Liverpool in the last round, and I think Villa can give them some problems,
yeah,
tactically, but I don't see it.
yeah.
Byron Inter,
I mean, you lost Alfonso Davies, so yeah,
and you know what? Like, I don't like German sides when they go up against Italian sides. It's just
yeah,
it like the style of play is just too different, and it just for me, it's just kind of like herky jerky. There's kind of like no flow. So I don't like those other matchups. And what's the other matchup?
it's Barcelona Dortmund.
Oh yeah, and that's
Yeah, yeah, that could be a bloodbath.
hey, listen. I out of all of them, I wouldn't rule out Inter
Yeah,
not punching through.
yeah.
I can
Oh,
see that.
not going through.
What's that?
You mean Inter not advancing?
No, I'm saying I don't be shocked if Inter does advance. Like
Oh, okay, yeah,
I think they're going to beat Byron.
yeah. I mean, with Davies going down, I think they have a bigger chance now to do it because Bayern's been leaking goals basically all season.
Yeah, I mean
So
they're even lucky to still be here. I had a Byron guest on back in February,
okay,
and I asked him. Byron was playing the next day,
yeah,
and this was 2 rounds ago.
hmm,
And I said to him, I was like, Merk, I'm like, give me a prediction for tomorrow. And I think they were playing a Belgium team, and he was like, Byron wins it, but in injury time in the second half. And sure enough, Byron scored 3 minutes in to injury time in the second half to win by a goal.
that's incredible.
So I was like, he texted me immediately and he was like, "What did I say to you last night?" And I was like, "Oh my God." I'm like, "You hit the nail on the head." And truth be told, I even think he claimed the third minute. Like
Jeez.
actually, like if I went back and rewatched that show,
Yeah.
he might have said in the third minute. He knows that team to a T.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still think I didn't think this at the beginning of the new year of Champions League. You know, in that opening 8 games, I didn't think Real had a shot this year at winning. Now I think it's theirs to lose.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And and I'm trying to think, are they on the same side as PSG?
Um, I believe yes. Yes.
So that
Yeah,
could be
because Real was on the same side as Liverpool, and that was kind of like a matchup that people were looking forward to. So yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So we could potentially have a Barca Real Champions League final.
Yeah.
They're in the Copa del Rey final.
Yep.
Speaking of, I can't believe this, and maybe you could speak to it more. This is the first time since 2014 they're playing in that cup final against each other.
Um, yeah, it's been a while because the last few years it's been like Sevilla and a couple different other teams and Real and yeah.
That shocked me that those two would go 11 years without facing each other in that cup final.
Yeah.
The two biggest teams in Spain
Yep.
and the two best teams in Spain. I mean, we don't have to sugarcoat it. You know? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that was
I mean,
that.
there's only two teams in Spain.
No, Atletico. Come on, Atletico.
Yeah.
Sevilla has some good years.
Yep.
You know, um, so yeah, that I don't know if I want to see a Barca Real final though in Champions League. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm rooting for PSG. I love the way they're playing. I love the way they're managed, how they're tactically set up. I forget the dude's name, but that number 7 that they bought in January.
Carvajal, I think the guy from Napoli,
Yeah,
right? Yeah. Yeah.
he's amazing.
Yes, he's extremely direct.
I,
He is very direct.
watching those two legs against Liverpool, I'm saying to myself, and why didn't Liverpool buy this guy? Because he's oh my god, he's scintillating.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm gonna root for PSG. I'm gonna pick PSG to make it to the final. I don't know with the defensive liabilities that Real has right now through injury.
Yeah.
I think PSG is going to do to them what they did to Liverpool and just run through that back four.
I think so. I mean, if they get through that next one, which I think Villa should be kind of. I mean, yeah, like you said, tactically they could set up differently and stuff, maybe slow them down, but over two legs, yeah, that's tough. Yeah, I
No,
mean, you guys kind of set up a bit defensively in the first leg, and even that was rough.
I think the first game was was rougher for us than the second game.
Yeah, yeah,
So I belong to the Liverpool supporters club at the Jersey Shore with Henry. You know,
okay,
I connected,
yeah,
and I was at MJ's where that's our meeting place. I was with all the guys there that day, and we were all just like, ghosted. Like, what's going on?
yeah,
And then for us to score that late winner, and then we're all saying, "Thank God we're going back home to Anfield."
yeah,
And then a week later, we're all just looking at each other, stunned. So yeah, I'm liking the way they're playing. I think the only toss up is the Byron Inter Milan quarter. That's the only one that I don't think is going to be a gimme. Like you
yeah,
said, Barcelona it could be 4 or 5 nil aggregate. I think Real will be like a 4-1, maybe
yeah.
2-2 aggregate.
Yeah,
Aston Villa, I think they'll make things a little bit complicated the first game. I think you're going to see like a 4-1 aggregate there, and then
yeah,
Byron flip a coin.
yeah.
What's
It could be 0-0, 90 minutes into the second leg.
yeah? So tell me a little bit about MLS. What's been going on in MLS lately? Anything good?
um, yes and no. I mean, the Rebels just went. So I'm a Red Bull supporter, just like Henry. They just went to New England. The Revolution, I guess they go play in Foxborough and they lost, of course. It's one of the places where we really haven't won too often. I mean, the past like 3 or 4 years, we actually had a good record, but yeah, kind of back to the losing ways there.
They lost to New England.
New England, yeah, New England hadn't even scored a goal the whole season.
I,
So the game before that one, New England scored the very first goal of their season, but it wasn't even them; it was an own goal.
the Revolution haven't been good in a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
In a long, long time. I can't even support them. That's how bad they are. And aren't they like the only MLS team left that plays in like an NFL football stadium?
Of the originals, yeah, but you have Charlotte. Charlotte is kind of like a newer team. I think
Mhm.
maybe they've been around for like 4 years, 5 years. I might be a little bit off there.
Yeah, I
But
think
yeah,
you're
they play in the Panther Stadium.
right. Okay.
Yeah, and they're really the only ones left. Oh, and the Sounders. My bad, the Sounders too
Oh yeah,
in
they
Seattle.
yeah. I don't.
But the difference is they actually packed that stadium like pretty well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know why New England doesn't build a state. They have the land out there in Foxborough. That stadium's out in the middle of nowhere
yeah,
on a 2-lane road. Like,
yeah.
so I don't get why they. I mean, in Kraft, he still owns it, right?
Yep. Hmm.
The guy's got so much freaking money.
Yeah. And
I,
it was apparently there was a rule for new MLS teams and even like original teams to have a stadium after a certain time. Yet New England has gotten a pass, and up until recently, NYCFC was getting a pass too, but they already broke ground in their new stadium. So
and I could see like them wanting to put the stadium in Boston.
yeah,
There's just no room.
yeah,
That's like why Fenway Park will never go away
yeah.
because there's no place to put another park.
Unless you leave like the city limits and stuff, right?
Yeah, like when they built the TD Garden to replace the Boston Garden, the two arenas were literally like 5 feet apart because they had to wedge the TD Garden into this small limited space that was the only place they could put it.
Yeah,
That's how I mean the city's so old and
yeah,
there's so much there. So it's just hard. I know isn't NYFC they're getting a stadium built right now, right?
yeah. Next to the Mets City Field.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um I s- I've been looking at the standings. I'm trying to see. I think for me, so I did a preview show with this other guy and this guy Nick. He's a real MLS expert. He um he and I had high hopes for Atlanta, and those it's early, right?
it's
We're
super early.
6 games early, but when you're that low in the table, when there's a lot of expectations on you,
Yeah,
and you've brought in some of the names that they've brought in and brought back,
yeah. I mean, they
um,
got Miggy. They got
yeah.
Miggy back. Yeah, and
So
they got the most expensive transfer in MLS history.
they're
but
another
he,
they're another
but
one that plays in a football stadium.
I don't know it's Shark. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, they
But
are
why
another one.
would you not want that? That place is
It gets packed.
insane.
Yeah, yeah, it gets packed. And plus, Arthur Blank keeps the prices on concessions low. So hey,
But just that stadium alone is
yeah,
just it's amazing. Now none of the LA teams are playing in SoFi.
No. So LA Galaxy's got their own stadium. We just went there for the MLS Cup final, and the grounds there are amazing, amazing. Like they have everything. Their practice facility, everything is right where their stadium is. It looks amazing there. And then LAFC is the other team, the newer team. They play in downtown LA. Yeah. I believe is a couple blocks from the Coliseum in LA. Yeah.
There's actually some good matchups this weekend in MLS that I'm actually gonna, put the telly on and
Yeah.
get into a little. Charlotte versus Nashville. It's like a 4 versus 5 right now. I hear
Yeah.
about that. I'm curious to see the Red Bulls against Berhalter in Chicago
Yep.
because it looks like he's got Chicago playing pretty well right now, right?
Yeah. I mean, no pun intended, but firing on all cylinders right now.
I mean,
So,
Inter Miami's going to destroy Toronto.
oh yeah.
They're going to
Oh yeah.
destroy them. And
The only thing that can slow them down is the fact that they played last night. But even then,
yeah, but Messi will come off the bench in the 70th minute like he did the other night and score within 2 minutes.
yeah, it's probably could score a hat trick.
Yeah, I mean, like in MLS, Messi, think about it, could be the definition of super sub.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, his first game against us, I believe, was his first like official kind of like MLS game, and it was against the Red Bulls. He came on and scored. Just, I believe it was within maybe like 10 minutes or something that he had come on.
I'm
Yeah.
going to that game in July.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
getting credentials through Bleacher Brothers, which is hosting our podcast tonight. Um, we're gonna get the credentials, and I'm gonna go up there as a credentialed person to watch the game.
Nice. Oh yeah, it's gonna be good.
When my kids were younger and still played soccer, we were actually in the Red Bulls owner's suite for games,
Ooh, nice.
regular season games, playoff games. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was nice. I've only been to one Red Bulls game where I was not in the owner's suite.
Where'd you sit?
The upper bowl, um, kind of like it's funny to say because it's like in the shape of an oval, but like in the
Yeah.
corner behind one of the goals.
Okay. Yeah.
What we did is through the youth soccer association here, you buy like 20 plus tickets, and they give them to you for like super cheap.
Yeah.
So we did the whole thing. We took all the kids there, tailgated there, did all that good stuff, and then I'm pretty sure they played Seattle.
Okay. Oh.
But I was in the owner's box when we had Thierry Henry.
Yeah. Yeah. You saw the good days, huh?
And when they were going deep
Yeah.
playoffs every
Yeah.
year,
Yeah.
that was a great time. I kind of miss those days, but I really don't have the interest in going to live sporting events just because of all the crap
Yeah.
that goes on at them now. And like
Yeah.
for me and for my family, like, we're Red Sox fans, Bruins fans, Celtics fans, Patriots fans. Like, I can't go to a Patriots Jets game down here and not get things thrown at me or,
Yeah.
all the stuff that goes on these days. It's just, to me, it's not worth the headache. I can just sit back on my couch and watch it in high def.
Yeah. True. Yeah. I mean, 4K, everything. So yeah.
Now, do you go to every home game?
Yeah. I'm also a season ticket holder. So yeah, I try to make it out to every home game. I mean, there's a few already that I won't be able to go just because I got other plans and stuff. But yeah,
You just sell on the tickets?
or hand it over to my friends if they want to use them. Whoever doesn't have tickets and stuff.
If you don't mind me asking, like, how much does like a season pass?
Well, I sit in the supporter section, so it's like the cheapest section. It was, I believe, this year was like 394 or maybe like 425, something like that.
And
It's really not a lot.
how many home games?
17,
Does that include playoffs if they make it?
two playoff games. The first two playoff games, and it also includes, so they're playing the Leagues Cup as well, so it
Mhm.
includes those games also. So I mean, in total, you end up getting 20 plus games easily. Like 24, maybe 26
For
games.
less than
Because
$400.
yeah, yeah,
I know when Messi first came to play, obviously you want to see one of the three greatest players, right, to ever play the game.
yeah.
Um, some will argue four or five, whatever. I think he's one of the top three. I went on.
I don't know about four
What?
or five.
Huh?
I say I don't know about four or five.
Well, you got Pele, you got
Yeah,
Ronaldo, you got Messi, you got in people's eyes Maradona.
yeah,
In my eyes, Johan Cruyff was up there.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, they wanted like 450 bucks for a ticket to that first match against Messi at Red Bull Stadium.
yeah.
Which now I can't even believe it. Henry told me that it's now the Sports Illustrated
Yep,
Stadium.
yep.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. Got a new name.
When's their next home game?
So next home game is actually this Saturday. Yeah,
Oh, oh,
against the
oh, against
Fire. Yeah,
Chicago.
it's at home.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes, you guys will have a great time.
yeah, yeah.
Day game, night game.
I believe it's a 7:30 game.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, for the most part, our games are 7:30. I think we got one more game that's at 4:30, and then a couple West Coast games that are 8:30, 10:30. So yeah,
Okay.
and then the rest of the season is just 7:30.
All
Yeah.
right. Have you heard of real quick? We got a couple of minutes. Have you heard of any big transfer rumors coming out for this summer?
I mean,
Any
Chelsea just
positive
secured
news?
the two like 17, 18 year olds. From the one kid from Sporting that even like the Sporting people are just all over it. Like this guy could be the next biggest star. Um, they're looking into
Who's
Osimhen
looking into
still.
him?
Well, Chelsea already secured the contract for him.
Oh, they
So
did.
yeah, with from
What did they pay for that?
I believe it was like 40, like 40 mil. Yeah. So it wasn't. I mean, yeah, for like a 17-year-old, that's kind of a lot, but I guess that's kind of the going rate now.
I'm surprised Sporting would have let him go so young.
Yeah, I don't remember where he came from before them, but if 40 is, you know if they think that that's his peak right now, then why not just let him go and develop. I'm sure there's probably some sort of sell on clause or something if Chelsea moves on from him. So
That has to be in there.
yeah,
Sporting's not going to be that dumb.
no, no.
And who's the other kid that they signed?
I forget the other kid's name, but he's like a 17-year-old too. He's kind of on the up, like supposed to be. I think was like top 50 of the prospects, like around Europe. So yeah, I forget the kid's name. I mean, it's Chelsea. We're just buying every 15, 16, 17-year-old. So
It sounds like they want to go the Barcelona model. It's just that Barcelona develops internally,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Listen, it'll be great. Well, I mean, the Chelsea Academy is actually pretty good because if you look around all the other clubs, there's there's Chelsea kids there everywhere. I mean, you can't claim every one of them, but you can't also play every one of them. So, sometimes you gotta let them go, and we've let some good ones go, unfortunately.
Liverpool's going through that right now too.
Yeah,
They've got a lot of promising young kids, but they can't crack that lineup, and they want to play.
yeah. I saw that. I think it was Aston Villa. I think was looking into Kwanzaa. to get him this summer. And I mean, for you guys, he looked pretty good.
I don't with the news of Trent and like all the heavy hard rumors
Yeah,
that it's still not official, but
yeah,
we all know it's official, right? Uh, they can't let him go.
yeah,
They can't. Robo's getting old at the left back.
yep,
Simikis is a role player. You
yeah.
know, Connor Bradley's going to play on the right. Kwanzaa can play anywhere across that back line.
That's huge.
And if Joe Gomez could ever just stay healthy,
Yeah,
he also can play across that entire back line.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we'll see. I mean, you know, I've talked about it to death on here about Trent. It kills me because he's a Liverpool lifer.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping he was going to be the next Steven Gerrard
Yeah,
and spend his entire career on that side of the pond with one team. But listen, if he wants to go,
yeah,
what what's the point?
yeah,
So
yeah,
what, you're gonna have Real coming in every January and every June and just throwing more and more money at you? Like, yeah, it'd be nice to get the transfer fee, but if the guy's not wanting to be there,
yeah,
let him
yeah.
go.
Yeah, and the issue too is that it's hard to replace somebody like that. You know, you're gonna be going through ups and downs. Whoever he gets replaced with,
Well, I like Connor Bradley as the defensive replacement,
yeah,
but he's not getting forward the way that Trent does. He's not pinging those
yeah,
threatening balls in across, you know, like Trent
oh,
does. Like Trent's got like a unique skill set to him
yeah.
that you
Like the
would.
ball bounces out from the area, goes to a random spot. Trent just whips it right back into the perfect spot. Like you
Yeah,
can't teach that. Yeah,
and it's almost like he knows he's going to do it before he does it, and he doesn't
hmm,
even like, pay attention to it. He's like, I just know that somebody's going to be right there.
yep,
That's a unique gift to have. Like,
yeah.
we're not going to miss his defense,
What? What?
but it's all the other parts of the tool bag
Yeah.
that will be tough to replace.
Hmm. Yeah. Now the one thing I was thinking about is if you guys were to get Isak. If you guys get Isak, then it's okay to have Connor Bradley be that defensive guy that doesn't go forward all the time. Because now you got a true number nine sitting up front that
Yeah,
the rest of the midfielders can link up with just fine.
and there's a lot of talk about him coming to Liverpool.
Yeah. Honestly, if he goes anywhere, I would love to see him there. That guy, he bangs goals in for Newcastle. I can't imagine what he would do with you guys. Oh my god.
All right, my man. Did you have fun tonight?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was definitely fun.
Well, we'll definitely have you back. We're
Awesome.
out of time. Until the
Oh,
next time, make sure you follow us on X at Kicking It with Matt. Norman, thanks again.
no
Talk to
problem,
you
man.
soon.
Thank you. All
All
right.
right.
You have a good
Have
night.
a good one.
Hold your head up high and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of the storm, there's a golden sky and the sweet silver song of a lark.